Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Stanley, and in this video, we are going to learn how to create this animated checkbox. So we are going to use just CSS and JavaScript, CSS and HTML to create this. So this is the basic structure of HTML, and this is our CSS file. So we are going to start with our HTML as usual. Then we are going to have a div with a class of container, which is going to hold all our documents, our markups. And this means if you have not subscribed, please promote our channel, and also in order that whenever I post an educational video like this, you will be the first person to be notified. So as we continue, we will create an input with a type of checkbox. We're going to create an input with a type of checkbox with an ID of checked, and we close it down because it's a self-closing tag. So that's how to close a self-closing tag. Then the next thing we do is the label, because we are going to connect the label with the checkbox. So we are supposed to open up this in our live server. So we are going to open it with this live server to be opened in our browser. So here it is. So you see our checkbox now. So we are going to create the label now. So we create label we are going to use the ID of this input to put here so that we can connect the ID, the label to the input. So now we are going to use a label for check, so that whenever you click on the label, the checkbox will be checked. And we also need a class that we use and design it. So the class of toggle. So now, after having put in all this, we close it, and inside the label, we want to add a circle. So this will be our label, and inside this will be our circle will be this button here. So that button like structure. So we're going to add a div of class circle. Then, having done this, we are done with the HTML file. So we move to our CSS file. First of all, what we are going to do is to reset all the default designs, the default stylings of the browser. So we're going to use a wildcard and select all the elements and remove the margin to 0 and padding to 0. So having resetted all this, we'll be able to put our own design and make it our custom way. It's not that you cannot add your own design when it is not in default form, but it's best to know the values you are working with. That's the main essence of doing this. So we go to our container and we give it a width, because we want it to cover the whole document. So we give it a width of 100% and a height of 100 viewport height. So this will cover all our page. So now, in order to see that, we can use background color of #EEE, and when we save it, we can see that our whole page have changed. So now we can continue by positioning the checkbox and the label. We cannot see the label now because we have not given that div of circle a height and a width, and even the label a height and a width. So whenever we give it a height and a width, we start to see them. So now we are going to position all our elements using flex to come to the center. So now we are going to display our elements in flex form, and we justify the content. We justify the content to center it at the x-axis. Then we are going to align items to center it at the y-axis. So having done this, our checkbox will come to the middle. Then we move down to our toggle, which is our label. That's where we will give it a height and a width so that we will be able to see it. So now we are going to select our toggle with CSS selector, and we have a width of 150 pixels, and a height of 50 pixels. And now we can give it a background color so that we'll be able to see it. Background color of the color I prepared, which is C74E29. So when we save this, we can see our label is out. So whenever I click this label, you see the checkbox will be checked and unchecked, checked and unchecked. So now we continue building. We then want to have an inside shadow. So we're going to give it a box shadow. A box shadow of insert. So we're using keyword insert, and we're going to give it 0, 2 pixels, 10 pixels, and our color, we give it something like 555. Then we save, and as we can see, we already have something inside shadow, but we want to, oh, I can see an error. This is supposed to be S X. So as we can see, the inside shadow, we want the edges to be rounded a little, so we need border radius. We give it a border radius of 50 pixels. We want it to be close to circle. So with this, we have created our label. Then we need to create our circle. So we need to create our circle. We select circle with the class CSS class selector, and we are going to give it a width of 5 pixels, width and height of 5 pixels. Sorry, my bad. 5 pixels. And we are going to give it a border radius of 50%. But before giving the border radius, we need to give it a border. Then we are going to give it a border of 27 pixels. Really big border. 27 pixels, solid white. We are going to use #FFF. Then we save so that we'll be able to see it. With this, we have seen our circle is taking shape. Then we're going to give it a border radius of 50% so that it can be a perfect circle. Border radius of 50%. We save. You can see that. Then we are going to also add a position because we need to position it. We are going to give it position of absolute. We want to put it the place we want it to be. We're going to give it a position of absolute. And before doing that, we have done that already, but we need to position the parent element to have a position of relative so that the content or the element will not leave the control of the parent element. So we're going to give it a position of relative. So now we want to position our circle. So we want to give it a top of -4 pixels and left of -5 pixels. So now having all this, we can still do a lot of things. So we need to add a box shadow to the circle. So we give it a box shadow of we are going to give it something, let's say something like 0.05 pixels solid, or sorry, we have my bad, I was using a border. We have a color of AAA. Let's put a color and then we save. Then we can see the shadow a little. Then what we need again is we need to make it now to go to the right side whenever the button is checked and to the left side when it is unchecked. So we can do that by using selecting our checkbox. We are going to select our checkbox by using the ID checked, then get access to the toggle and know whether, because there is a pseudo selector which is checked. So we're going to know whether it is checked or not. This is where we are supposed to use JavaScript, but let's use CSS for it. So now we select the checkbox using ID selector, then we apply checked. So we want to check whether it is checked. So if it is checked, then go to toggle class and to the circle class and do something. So that thing it will do is what we're going to put in the curly braces. Now we want to shift the circle to the right side. So we are going to just add left. So we're going to tell it, okay, if it is checked, shift it to the left side by a particular parameter. So looking at all this, we want to shift it to 100% to at the end of this toggle, toggle bar by this side. So, but how can we do it? We want to know the size. We have to know the size of this circle so that whenever we shift it, it will just be as it is here. And the size of this circle is, the middle is 5 pixels, left is 27, right is 27. So 27 plus 27, 54 plus 5, 59. So we are going to use a keyword called calc. Calc. Yeah, we use 100% of the bar minus 59 pixels. Minus 59 pixels. That's how we want it to be. So now it have gone over to the other side. So we want that if it is checked, let it go to this side. If it is unchecked, let it come to this side. But there is something we notice is a little bit off here. So we want it to be at the center. So we're going to remove 5 pixels, that 5 pixels, so that it can bring it to the center, and we have 54. So when we save that, this is more like what we want. So when we click, it goes to the other side. When we click, it comes to this side. So now we want to handle the color changing. We are going to use the same property, the same method to do that. How can we do that? We just select the checkbox, check whether it is checked. Then if it is checked, go to toggle and change the background color. That's what we want. So now it's not just go to the toggle and go to the circle, but we just want to stop at the toggle. So go to the toggle and then change the background color. So I prepared a background color, a background color of ash 402B 2B9696, and then we save. So with this now, then when we click on this icon, it changes color. Click, it changes color. Then what we need to handle again is the animation. The animation, we want to make it smooth. So how can we make it smooth? So first of all, come to our toggle, because it's part of what we are changing. So we are changing the background color, and we want it to use this transition when changing the background color. So we are going to use transition in the background color so that we are going to play that transition to in 0.5 seconds. The time will be 0.5 seconds. So we save and we check whether it's working. Something a little bit off. Something's a little bit off. Transition background color, then transition background color, then okay, let's save again. Okay, let's check for the other one. So we want to fix it. Then we are also effecting a change in the circle. So we are moving from left to right. So we will also add a transition to the left, and then we use 0.5 seconds. So when we save that, let's see what happens. Value is 0.5 seconds, so that it can play it within that time. As you can see, the color is changing smoothly, and the circle is moving smoothly to the left and the right of the toggle bar. Then what is the last thing is to make this to disappear. So we are going to use an attribute to it in the HTML, an attribute called hidden. Then when we use this and save, we can see that the checkbox has disappeared. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have learned a lot from it. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel to promote and also get first info of our video when we release it. Thank you so much. See you in my next video.